So, welcome to all of you who are tuning in from all over the world to our special edition of Vocation Café. I'm Father Jarek Pachocki, Vocation Director for the Oblates OMI Lacombe Canada. And I'm sure we all were really horrified by the images and news that are coming from Ukraine. We, as the Oblates, are serving in Ukraine for many years. Currently, we have around 30 Oblates right across the country. And many of them, not all of them, when the war broke down, they decided they're going to stay with the people, minister with the people, assisted them. And I'm very honored and humbled that Father Pavel decided to join us and share his experience. As we call him Pashka, he's my classmate. And I remember Pavel was the youngest one in our group, the first Ukrainian oblate that was ordained. So, Pashka, I'm very happy that you are here. Just maybe tell us a few words, who you are, where you minister.
Okay,
You
I'm
can
in
do that.
Kiev. Welcome to everyone. Welcome, Jarek. And now I'm in capital of Ukraine. I'm a parish priest of San Nicholas Parish. This is one second exactly parish of Oblates. This parish is not easy parish because the church was changed into concert hall, and 1st of June we hope that it will belong to Catholic Church. So this is what I'm doing now. Before I was for 9 years as a delegation superior for Ukraine, and before I was working in information in media, and before I was studying with Jarek.
Hmm. Yeah, you were very much involved there. Pashka, I remember, I mean, that was many, many years ago. I went to Kiev as a deacon for the pastoral experience for Christmas. And the one thing that I remember about the church, St. Nicholas there, every time when people stood up, the chairs were clapping because it was like a theater chairs. So every time when people stood up, you could hear across the church, the chairs, they were just clapping all over the place. Pavel, I know, and you told that story many times with us when we were in the seminary, and you share your experience. As I mentioned, you were the first Ukrainian oblate, but the persecution and experience of the Soviet invasion, like it's not something new for you. You had that experience from the past, from your childhood. Can you share a little bit about it with us?
Okay, I belong to Catholic family. My mother and father and also grandfathers always were practical Catholics, and they practiced their faith. Even my grandfathers was killed by faith because our church in Bar town is my
Mhm.
home name city, was a very big parish. It's about 3,000 people uh, who go on mass during the Sunday,
Mhm.
and communist Russians actually was the first
Yeah.
communist uh, wished to destroy our church, and many people defended the church, and many of them were killed. We know that 9,367 people was killed of
Mm.
defense of our Catholic Church in my town Bar, and also from my family to that
Mhm.
church. My parents always brought me for masses. Not always were priests, because 45,000 of priests and religious were killed in our country. About 3,000 churches were destroyed,
Mm.
and my parents always bring me into church. It was Soviet law who forbid to child have not 18 years old yet to go in church. So
Mm-hmm.
in front of church, the teachers from each school, one teacher was staying in front of church and doesn't allow the children to go inside the church. But my parents always bring me into church. It was about 5 kilometers by foot through the camps
Oh.
to the church. By the road, it was more or less 8 kilometers because road was around, and through the fields, it was a shorter way.
Mm-hmm.
And on that time, when I was 11 years old, it started already perestroika, but it was last strong decision to fight with church, with our population. And during mass, night mass of Christmas night, Christmas vigil, I don't know how is in English,
That's right.
during midnight mass of Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So mm, the teachers found me in church, even with other children. And next day, the 25th of December, uh, in school, they in front of all school, they said that I am traitor of Soviet country because I went to church,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they like to punish me. So they took out my coat and throw out of the school with only shirt.
Mm-hmm.
It was winter, so -20, -25 degrees below zero. And I was walking in the beginning this 5 kilometers by foot to home, but it was very cold. I frozen very soon. After I exactly don't remember many of things of that. Someone found me on the road, and after that I passed in hospital many months.
Mm-hmm.
I lost my hearing from one side. But I always dreamed to be a priest, to be after when oblates come in 1989 to my parish. I saw about from story of our founder that
Mm-hmm.
he lived as Saint Eugene de Mazinot in very similar time like we were lived in Ukraine, because the church was destroyed, the people was without priests, and I decided to join the Oblates, and now it's 30 years when we
Yeah,
together. We remember, Jarek, we started 30 years ago, the
it's a long
novitiate.
time.
Yes, time is running.
Flying. Yeah, that time just goes so fast. And Pashka, I remember, and probably you remember that you mentioned that you lost the hearing as well. But when we were in the seminary, each one of us has to sing a psalm or lead us in the song. And I tell you, when Pavel sang, everybody enjoyed it because it was quite a music when he was sharing that with us. So thank you, Pavel, for that. And it seems like you experienced a lot already in your life, even before joining the Oblates, and that concept of recognizing how the church needs the ministry, needs the Oblates, needs renewal, and your decision that you followed that call. You were the first Oblate from Ukraine. Can you give us a little bit background about, because I think many people don't understand what's happening right now between Russia and Ukraine. When Ukraine came to life, or I think this was independent. gained the independence just like 30 years ago or something. Maybe you can give us a little bit historical background what's happening there.
Yes, the independence Ukraine received after fall of Soviet Union
Mm-hmm.
exactly 31 years ago will be in summer time, and 8 years ago, Russian make invasion to Crimea,
Mm-hmm.
and also to two eastern region of Ukraine. It is Donetsk and Lugansk, and the Russians were stopped by Ukrainians, so they took only Crimea and do not took all two regions. And exactly what is happened here in Ukraine is start 8 years ago, exactly 8 years ago. But this 8 year was only for these two regions, two half regions in the eastern part of Ukraine. And now what was in eastern part of Ukraine now is in all countries. So destruction, wars, a lot of children dead, a lot of people dead, a lot of people injured, and about I think 15 or 16,000 Russian soldiers
Wow.
are dead now from this 3.5 week, 27 days. Today is 27 days
Yeah.
full invasion of Russians to Ukraine, and we are habituated with Russians because before for 75 years it was communism
Yeah.
who was prepared by Russians, and Ukraine was first republic of the Soviet Union. So
Mm-hmm.
Russians from Russia comes immediately to Ukraine, and before for 300 years where Tsar, this is I don't know in English is Tsar,
That will be sad. Yeah.
who invaded Ukraine. And before it was our country from 10th century, from 11th century, who always dream of freedom, and we have some freedoms after it was some invasion, Lithuania, Poland, Turkey, different Tatar, Mongol, and different people likes to have invasions in Ukraine, but the most dangerous this invasion happened in during the Soviet time, and
Mm-hmm.
now when this man from Moscow like to return Soviet Empire, and he said that in 988, when was baptism of Ukraine, everything started from Kiev. So he would like to go back to that time to rebuild this empire, which was in
Yeah.
988.
It's unbelievable, actually, what's happening there. And like for many of us, all we get, get the news, and thank God for the communication that is happening these days. Like before the internet, nobody was probably hear what's going on in Ukraine. Like these days, we get firsthand, like we're doing right now, when we can talk here, and here in Canada, you are right in Kiev, and tell us like how the day looks like today, like in the parish, in the community, and in the city, like how your day looks like right now.
Okay. Firstly, about the city, Kiev is not full of people like was before. I don't know, maybe 70 or 80% of the population just left Kiev. We also, as
Wow.
oblates, we help many our children with parents, with moms leave Kiev to move them to safe place.
Mm,
And when in Kiev remain, who is not able to move somewhere? I'm speaking about our parishness,
mm,
especially who are sick or who have nowhere to go, who are invited. So we visit them just to bring them food. Now is easier to have this food, but on the beginning, you needed to wait. 2 weeks ago for 2 hours or 3 hours to
wow.
buy the bread. Just in some shops you can bought only one piece of bread.
Mm,
So now is the situation is better, but exactly more or less every night is bombing our capital because it is strategical for Russians.
yeah.
Statistics said that about 70 buildings were destroyed, buildings to 15 to 12 floors, so 70 big
Mm,
buildings. There are some people who is always underground in metro, who are living. We also visit them. A few days ago, we took to Sister Mother Teresa of Calcutta, which we working with them. It is missionary of charity. One old lady, 73 years old, she do not eat nothing from these 3 weeks. It
wow.
was very weak person.
Mm,
So now the sisters have nutrition for her, so she is uh, turning back to. But there are many people who have not position. So we also grateful to your province for your help and for all oblates units who for appeal are helping and are praying for us. So this is first what we do outside. Inside in
mm,
parish, always are in our church every morning, in case that people every people know that we are there, in case that no lights, no electricity, and everyone not phones, so everyone could know where we are, where it's possible to find us. So we
mm,
always in church, and we distribute also some medicines, some food to different organizations, especially for our organization for medical hospital. We've helped a lot because it is big lack of medicine. So
mm,
medicines are bringing from Poland, from the border, and especially people who need took medicines every day, insulins.
mm,
Uh, After that, we are sharing food especially with zone who are who need. For example, we sent you hear about city Mariupol city, where is 3,000 person
yeah.
killed in this few days, civil, and by Russians, and Russians does not allow to people to go out from the city. So we share everything what we have, food, water, with cities like this.
Mm,
Last days we sent 3 transports to Chernihiv, where oblates are. This is near Chernobyl. This parish where oblate are working from 1994, and there are remain two oblates with parishness, with other people who are around. And for 2 weeks they have not light, electricity, water, and even food. So we send free transport to them, to the other cities which are in similar situation. So this is a social work which we are as oblates do a lot from morning till evening, but also is sacramental work. We are preparing different groups to the sacraments, because now in this time of war, many people awake because every moment could be last, every day could be last, and they went just simply and asking sacraments, first communion, first confession, marriage, yeah, marriage.
Yeah.
Yesterday we have a marriage of our defender, of soldier, our parishness, who received permission for 1 day, and he arrived, and it was sacrament of marriage in our church, because many women and children remain, and many men of our parish, from our parish, they are in defense. There are soldiers to defend Ukraine, and we are praying for them. So it is shortly our work in
Okay.
this time.
I'm amazed. Like I was watching. I saw the pictures you posted about that marriage, and it seems like it doesn't. Even you are in the middle of the war. It doesn't stop the ministry and being with people, journeying with them wherever they found themselves. As you mentioned, the regular masses and baptisms, even marriages that are happening there. Tell us a little bit. Like I noticed that. Every time when the parish streams the mass or when you have the prayers, like this is not in the main body of the church, isn't it? Is it like a basement, or where do you
Yes,
usually
yes.
gather?
Our church has 2 floors. Main hall of church now use it. It was before it was concert hall, and as oblates we have permission to use his only on Sunday. And after 5th of September 2021, it was a fire which
Really?
damaged the organ, but it fired because of fault of government to church belong to, not because of us. So main hall is damaged. And also for safety, we are having mass now, because it's bombing very often. We have mass under church. Before it was crypt during normal time, crypt for funerals, for other things. But now is normally church for our safety. In upper church, we have a storage for distribution for like this.
It's amazing. I want to just echo what you mentioned earlier. Like people are really responding with generosity. They can do what they can. I mean, all the news that we are receiving, and when we invited our parishioners here in St. Patrick Parish in Hamilton to support particularly oblate ministries and oblate parishes, as you mentioned, like people were very generous, and donations were being sent through our province MAMI, or a missionary association of Mary Immaculate, some kind of like a Procura Missina in Poland. Is that fundraising arm of the province? And
I know this, and I would said also, because I was for 9 years as delegation superior, and I know Diana Lepage. Diana
yes,
Lepage. So I also would like to thank to her for support before, and also I would like to thank your province, because your provincial also was one of the first who wrote to us that keep prayer and can your
Hmm.
names of your provincials can and thank you for all for generosity, and for us is very also touching that we are not alone, because
Yeah, sure of that.
we are small country against Russia, who are very huge country, and because of your prayer and your support, Ukraine resist, and we hope that this war finish soon. And in few days, Pope Francis consecrate another time Ukraine and Russia to Immaculate Heart of Mary, and we hope that this also consecration will let finish the war, because a lot of people every day is dying, a lot of sufferance, and we are very thankful for your support. As you see and hear that we use your help, we use your support in very concrete way to the people who need so much of this support. Thank you.
Thank you, Pashka. You mentioned Diane Lepas. She's secretary for Our Mommy for Missionary Association of Mary Immaculate. And look at this, like she's watching us and she's as well joining the conversation here. Can you tell us, as she's asking, is there any collaboration there in Ukraine with those big organizations like Red Cross or Development and Peace? And a little bit more about your work with the Sisters of Charity, because I think there's a great connection between the Obelisk and Sisters of Charity in Kiev, isn't it?
Mhm. Okay. About first question about collaboration. Yes, we collaborate, especially with Caritas. Is
Mhm.
only Red Cross is working with International Red Cross is working with government, especially uh, to do the corridors, green corridors,
Okay.
to protect and to broke out people
Hmm.
from the city who are around Russia, around the city, and especially Red Cross is helping of that people to find and to bring people who dead also even to Russian territory. We as ecclesiastical organization, we are working with Caritas, and this is only one way for us as religious organization
Hmm.
to work with this, because we have this document, Caritas document, which allowed you to buy much more food that
Okay.
just for the others, and it also is strict. You need strict. We always get accounting, very strict accounting also every day about distribution, especially to the hospitals, to
Hmm.
the other. So we collaborate with Caritas much more, but Red Cross is also in Ukraine, and the Red Cross is much more connected with government. About collaboration with Missionary of Charities, yes, we have 3 times a week. This is our parish, so in
Hmm.
territory of our parish. So we are working with them. 3 times a week, we go there for the Holy Mass, for be with poor, because a great number of poor are there. Sisters feeding this poor, and we are helping also,
Hmm.
not only distributing, but especially with sacraments, especially with preach, with speaking about God. Uh, Now is not easy time because time of war, but before that we went to the hospitals with sister, especially to hospitals not a good quality, but hospitals for the poor, where people is destined for dying. Is also different level of hospital, class A and class B. So we went to this class B, went for poor people, and we minister there. We were helping people. We also bring out some people who was younger, just to save them life. And as Oblates, independence of Sister Missionary of Charity, in 6 places of Kiev, from west to north, we were distributing food for about 200 persons every Tuesday and every Thursday. So together in a week, 400 for 400 persons. But now is impossible because of not easy to move it through the city, and because of other priorities. And now to helping to sick, to injured people, to alone, and to children. So this is our work. So we are close to the people as always and close to the people.
It's a true witness to our oblate values, and yeah, like you are there with the people. And Pashka, I want to thank you. I know that you are strained for the time and with all the circumstances that they're happening in your place. I want to thank you for taking this time and giving us a picture and insight of what's happening in Ukraine. And I want to thank you as well for your ministry and to all the oblates who are in Ukraine. I mean, every time when I've heard those stories that you decide that we staying with the people, that's who the oblates are. That's when we're supposed to be with the poorest of the poor. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing that. And Pashka, last message that you would like to tell to us, those people who are watching, who are listening to the news, whose heart is breaking as well for you and support. Please know that we are embracing you in prayers, and you have that support. You are not alone, as you mentioned earlier. What would be your message to the people who are watching and wondering about Ukraine?
I think we need, all of us need one dream. My biggest dream now is when this war is finished. Because a lot of sufferance, you are never sure that every moment will be last, that every night will be last, that every go away will be last. So we wish so much that this war will finish immediately now, and I would like to invite you also to pray for this, that this war, because we are in 21st century, we are in 2022, and it is very, very foolish to have a war in this, when we need to defend our country, when children, when people is so afraid. So thank you for your prayer, thank you for your support, and may God bless you all.
Thank you, Pashka. Thank you very much for that. Slava Jezu Christu.
Навіки слава.
Slava Ukrainu.
Oh, слава.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Dear God, our hearts are broken for this world. The hatred is palpable, the division undeniable, and the pain runs deep. We desperately need more of you. We ask for your truth to be louder than the noise which surrounds us, for your mercy to be stronger than the voices of oppression, for your strength to overpower those who seek to do harm. Where there is division, bring unity. Where there is anger, bring peace. Where there is evil, bring victory. Empower us to fulfill your mission, to answer your calling, to be the light you've created us to be. May your love your grace and your mercy flood this world. We love you. We seek you. We place our hope in the mighty name of Jesus. This we pray